Dear Bethesda, where is Fallout 4? I know that people that click this video are going to be like, it's already come out, you moron, but it hasn't. What we were given was Fallout 3.5. What do I mean? Let's get into the details and hopefully you and your team can take the advice and the hit and just move on. Firstly, I will open by saying that I'm going to be that one guy that tells it how it is, because people are afraid to speak badly about Fallout 4 publicly, only because it comes as the most recent entry in a long lineage of good games, and this, sadly, is not one of them. This is likely the only game of 2015 I believe was overhyped and overrated. This game is simply another coat of paint on an obviously aging and failing engine, and instead of fixing the engine or building a new one, you put some new paint on something that should have been put in the trash can instead of polished up. Anybody who I have heard defending this game is either a serious FPS fan or has forgotten everything that you have released before this. I'm sorry, but this game is not okay. I want to start by saying that I love Fallout 3.5. and literally every Elder Scrolls game and Fallout game you've had your hands on. They're amazing, but this is by no means a hate speech. Like a parent that waits 5 years for a piece of art and is given a macaroni noodle picture of a guy, a dog, and a house that the man made, a few nuclear clouds in the background, but he got bored and stopped using glue halfway through it and decided to keep the food product secured to the paper by licking the noodles and pressing them to the paper really hard. Fallout 3 was released in 2008 and New Vegas in 2010, 2 years after, and New Vegas felt like 3 set in a new place with a few new weapons, armor, and clothing. New enemies, some interesting lighting choices, but all in all, it felt like an elongated expansion to 3. Fine, 2 years, not a lot of advancement in your engine, and Obsidian at the helm of New Vegas trying to redeem themselves after the abysmal Alpha Protocol, and it was. Anyone who says otherwise should take cover on a chain link fence in real life and see how many bullets that thing stops, and then decide not to take cover behind an office desk or a refrigerator. Alpha Protocol is a barrel of Duke, and we all know. Moving on. November 11th, 2011, 1 year after New Vegas, we're treated to something done in the same engine that is amazing. Skyrim is amazing. Buggy, as all of your games tend to be out of the gate, but fine. More so with some of the mechanics of the new things you've put into the game. No big deal. Goat horse! You made 100 strides forward with the dialogue options and choices, voice acting, script writing, character animations, and combat, idling, and while the greatest meme to come out of Skyrim was the same line of dialogue repeated by guards over and over, and people thought it literally meant getting shot in the knee, I appreciate the historical use of a term that is an analogy for getting married. I'm not gonna say it. Maybe later, if you guys have been good, we'll see. Hey, stop arguing. This moment, or I will turn this car around. Between patches from the modding community, your own patches, and updates that came with the amazing expansions you released for Skyrim, a lot of the problems got resolved. As sad as it was for the modders to fix the problems that you should have spotted in QA testing and looked into before shipping, delaying a game isn't a sin if there are seriously terrible issues with a game. Halo, for example. Halo 2 should still be in the delayed status. The whole game is garbage. Back on point here. You show us shiny new bits of Fallout 4, live-action cinematic intros, and you introduce a dog and power armor and tell us that the world is going to be epic, vast, and expansive. You show us screenshots of the really pretty parts, and marketing says that it's a smart idea, and of course it is. Hell, I rode the hype train for Fallout 4 until the day it came out. Late for me, compared to somebody in Australia who was streaming it and recording before I was even allowed to open the game. Let's cover this. People trying to make a living on Twitch and YouTube have to wait a whole day longer than somebody who was fortunate enough to be born and live in Australia. Gets his 1,000 subs on Twitch and his millions on YouTube based on the release date problem. It's been my experience with AAA that they release at the same time for everybody and it isn't based on when midnight hits in a specific area. So talentless blowhards that don't interact with their viewers, which I went in to look at the competition, which any smart person does. The point is, you fucked up on pre-release and the release of the title. Small issue, I got over it, and I came up with a much better idea that didn't involve relying on a fair release schedule. Okay, so I opened the game to stream it, and the first thing I notice is frame rate. Alright, no big deal. Likely because of all the high-res textures with the engine you're using. I'll compensate for that by lowering the quality. No, still having frame issues. Oh well, it's Fallout 4. Let's set this bitch to high and move on. Fingers crossed. Alright, character creation. Every moment in gaming has prepared me for this. Customize all the things! Oh hey, I can make my wife look different too. Well, according to what I've read read about your game thus far. How my wife and I look will change how my child looks. Alright, well, I don't want to spend 2 hours making him look like Will Smith, so I'll move on. Start me in the bathroom, go get me some coffee, and make note of every random colored thing. All the things. I will see them all. I'm trapped inside of my house, that's fine. I was in a playpen at the beginning of Fallout 3. The textures are great, but I mean, the bombs haven't dropped yet. Maybe this was just an added thing, you know, right at the end. So colorful. I love the aesthetic of it all. What? There's a bro at the door! Check that shit! Okay, now, what happened? You removed a lot of the dialogue options. I can ask a question, be sarcastic, which is okay with me, or mean/no. And you aren't telling me exactly what I'm going to say. You give me 1, maybe 2 words to read for each option before I choose and expect me to be okay with making a decision. I don't know how it's going to affect my karma, or whether or not it will change the dialogue choices at all. Alright, well, let's not worry about my karma and be sarcastic. Get a few laughs and move on to naming and stats. Jack. My name is Jack, and I'm a charismatic and agile dude because speech and stealth are the what's what in the butt. Blah blah, wife, blah blah, park, blah blah. Whatever you say, I don't care. You aren't going to be my companion, and I have no reason to be attached to your character beyond you, Bethesda, telling me wife important. I know she's an alcoholic who smokes based on the evidence, who is a lawyer of some kind. Or was she a doctor? Do you see how little I care about her? How about opening with dinner with your wife the night before all of this stuff went down? Have a conversation, have her registered to the player as a caring woman who I wouldn't mind having around. Seriously, 4 lines with your new shitty dialogue choices. In fact, that's how naming and skills should have been done. An entire conversation with your wife. Alright, door closes, and Codsworth calls me Mr. Jack. What? Google! How many names does he know? How many? Tell me your secrets, Codsworth. Almost 1,000, including Nasty. Dibs on Nasty next playthrough. So my son needs me. I go into the room and immediately notice how messed up my son looks. He looks like a mutant. Given all human babies are ugly and look like underdeveloped lizards, this one especially, let me decide which of mine and my wife's features get passed to my son, especially if you're going to let my wife see my face, hair, and body mutate right in front of her. You let me see the future of my ugly face in Fallout 3. BAM! Shit kicks off. Alright, to the awesomeness. I leave and leave my wife in the dust by like 20 feet and then stop and look at how vast and expansive the world is just from my neighboring. It's amazing. Wait, you want me to go where? You're gonna let me see a vast world I can't explore right there? No big reveal, just really? Bethesda, you let me see places I won't be able to go to for the first hour of my game. Why? Trying to make me want to go back to the surface? Any intelligent human being would be like, well, this isn't going to look as pretty after the bomb, so I know it's going to look not so pretty. And my viewers are like, Jack, Fallout games aren't supposed to look pretty. It's after a nuclear war. Then why show it to me at all? It's padding and fluff and entire intro area that could have been handled with a little more care and gave people the feeling of being isolated and alone for a longer period of time before the big hurrah. Fallout 3 was handled perfectly. Fallout New Vegas didn't bother with any of it. You were talking to a doc, given a gun, and sent out. That fast. Easy. But it worked. This is a look at how pretty we could have made things. Now return when it all looks like shit. Anyway, so my wife gets popped. Good for her. My son gets yoinked. Okay. Then Frosted Flakes opens his mouth and instantly I want to kill him for talking about me like he knows me. Not because of my wife or my son, but because he got in my face, talked shit, and walked out without opening the cryopod and letting me F him up right there. Come at me, scrub lord. Back to cryo. Alright, so plot things that happen when all I can do is pound on glass? To hell with that. I'm sorry. Scientists wake up everybody, including me, so that mini-wheats can steal a baby. Sidetrack. Who in their right damned mind wouldn't give a baby their own cryo? That infant would die in there if given the same amount of frozen crap, and the baby wasn't even given a vault suit, so they weren't protected. The baby is dead. Dead. Suspension of disbelief, Jack. Do it. And done. Scientist wakes us so that the clown can take the baby, kill the lady, and then puts us all back under. Statistically speaking, I should have died with everybody else in those pods. If it failed them, it would have failed me. People further up the pipe died, and people further down the pipe died. And I'm alive? Alright. I'm the big hero. Moving on. Mike Tyson some roaches. Get my 9. Excuse me, my 10. Get my 10. Some rounds. My pip with a P as in Paul. I've disliked every video where the reviewer calls it a pit boy with a T as in Tom. Why? We aren't playing an Atari game. Its name isn't Brad, and it wasn't the star of Kid Icarus. You guys make a few $1,000s a week and can't get the damn name right. Die in a fire. All of you. Right this minute. Fire! Okay, so leave the vault. Yes, I'm sure this is what I want. You Made me choose, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Surface, daylight, big reveal of what the place looks like, and as expected, a drastically different scenario between pre and post. But there's no more contrast. It wasn't a nuke they dropped, it was a dirty bomb that made everything look like it had come from the same color palette, and every fabulous male in the world looking at it has just vomited in unison. All of the buildings can be confused for each other. In fact, let's go look at, wait, the feck? Why does my map look so small? Run, 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 map markers, and you can walk from one side to the other in about 20 minutes. I know, blah, 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 gaming has changed and I shouldn't bitch, but when it took me over an hour in Skyrim, I lost count after that. I'm lazy. What, you don't know my life?
Well, Jack, with all the city areas and destroyed buildings you can go in, and how congested things are, if you put the buildings end to end, it would be massive.
Fallout 3, fool. Point Lookout was this big. So I decided to swallow my ego and want for a map that I couldn't urinate across. So, low-res graphics, frame rate issues, memory leaks, and a really tiny map removed my specific dialogue options. At least I still have my karma. Go into a town, Diamond City, and kill all the babies. What do you mean a lot of the people and places are essential and I can't kill them? Fine, I will hurt the bad with bombs. No karma updates. I'm sure they're hidden in the Pip-Boy somewhere. Where is it? Where is my karma system? My choices don't mean anything. Every dialogue option, every innocent person I kill, save, every innocent person I save. We've replaced your beloved karma system with post-apocalyptic Minecraft. You did what? With who? You save people and are a good guy no matter what you do. You protect every settler that enters each of your more than 20 outposts and can build shops, beds, rebuild homes, and set up trading routes for... Who spilled Sid Meier's civilization in my Fallout 4? Who told the Sims to come visit my wasteland? Who is the dirty bastard responsible for this? Give me his name! No, not you. Why did it have to be you? I trusted you, and you took away the importance of choices and told me to build beds for people I would rather shank and gank. Screw it! You all die! But why? It isn't like it actually affected anything. People will return, trade will continue as if I didn't kill everybody who was here. Fine, I'll play this until the end, and I'll kill the guy responsible for this, find the baby, get him back, meet Nick Valentine. Wait, what do you mean there's no procedure to make me look like him? His hat and coat aren't enough, game. Come here, Kellogg. It's time to be unlifed. Midstream, day 1, I was told about an exploit to let Dogmeat get the cryolator out of a master-locked box in Vault 111. Like 4 hours into my stream! An exploit that was this obvious needed to be updated day 1 because it breaks your game. Instead, you patch in achievements on Steam. Oh, so you turn them on halfway into my first playthrough, forcing me to play through it again. Building and or crafting aren't required in this game, says every news outlet you spoke to. Guess what I can't do without crafting? Build the portal to get to the Institute. Guess who can't kill the giant super mutant without a modified or previously overpowered weapon? This guy. Spoilers incoming. I get to this big badass base and see Sean, my son, behind a glass wall with a door I can't touch. He screams for father. Father walks in. He gets blapped hard with a shotgun, quote unquote, exit the Institute, the game tells me. Why would I do that? My son is right there. Let me get him. Alright, so I reload my save and go back in to discover, bum bum bum, father is Sean, and the one in the glass case is a robot. Follow that quest line, father dies of cancer or AIDS, nobody gave a shit. What I gave a shit about is, what if I had come in literally 20 days later? Would he be dead already? Nope. So his aggressive cancer only killed him when I arrived there and the story needed it to. It takes too much coding to shut up, bitch. Metal Gear Solid 5. If you don't get Miller within the time you're told to, you find him dead. Mission failed. Don't base something on the illusion of time when you have a time mechanic in the game. Don't let me not get to the door for 4 hours and not have the attacks destroy everything because I didn't talk to Mr. Vault-Tec, okay? Don't tell me somebody is dying of cancer and then let them live 4 weeks if you don't do that story. The mission to launch nukes was underway well before my doorbell rang. Don't make me think otherwise. Cancer was going to kill father long before I got there. And if I don't get there, if I don't do anything, he should die without me having to participate in your story. Alright. New character, Mr. Nasty. Love that name. Go to the Brotherhood and decide to do all of the side missions. There are unlimited outpost missions to do for the Minutemen. Got to the point where I would walk into an outpost that had a character that had a mission for me, and I'd pop him in the face with a shotgun. Why? Well, no karmic problem, who cares?
There is no God anymore!
Oh, what do you mean I need a gun nut perk to use garbage to make a scope for my rifle? Deal. Did it. Picked up every loose bit of... Sorry, Nick Valentine collected all the things for me because, to hell with carry limits. Got near the end of the Brotherhood arc. Near the end. And do you know what happened? Video! 37 hours in. 37 hours. And the last mission, that solely depends on the actions of this giant robot, isn't going to happen. Awesome. What, Liberty Prime, did you figure that standing there and busting a move was more important than blowing a hole into the Institute so that I could kill the douchebag in charge and do what I'm supposed to? Damn it, go. Go.
I don't mind who as long as there's some excitement at the end of the road.
What if it hadn't sorted itself out? What if, and hear me out here, the same random series of numbers never lined up, and he did this jig for all eternity? I stepped away from my game for an hour, and came back, sat down, and he eventually fixed himself. A 30-something hour play of this game on normal with amazing weapons ruined because you had to remind people that you were the ones that made Fallout 3? We know that. We know that, Bethesda. You used the same engine you did in 2008 for this. We know it was you. You removed parts we loved, such as being able to see exactly what we're going to say, the karma system, and the fact that our choices actually mattered and meant something. You changed the way people interacted with us and made us feel like a part of the world that was there, and instead, you made us feel like the world part was of the player. The world was a part of the player, with base building. The weapon mods are awesome, but we saw that to a slightly lesser degree in New Vegas. Now you've given us exact mods that use junk for parts. The armor mods don't change anything aesthetically. If I sleek up my synth armor, I want it to be pearl white and sexy. You blew your load with power armor so early on, and then made fusion cores hard to come by. In the late game, you gave us a ton of things to do to change numbers such as defenses and what, and made cores slightly easier to find, but by the time I can do anything awesome with the armor, our characters outside of the armor can either take a Deathclaw one-on-one, or can sneak by everything that could have possibly been a threat to us. Or we have weapons that can clear out a room of people with minimal effort. The whole game feels like a lot of people at every department dropped the ball and passed the buck over and over again. And then crunch time came, and all the people who were quote-unquote comfortable at your company rushed. The game isn't polished in the least. You smack us in the face with perk points when we have them to spend, but don't tell anybody how to, or even the benefits of setting up trade routes between different outposts. You say that a food item is damaged and needs repair, but you don't tell us to just walk up and press the repair button. You don't tell us right out of the gate that we need junk. And instead, we go an entire 12 hours without ever having a need for it. If we run off to create our own adventure, and only after do we have to try to remember where we saw that one thing of duct tape in Vault 111. You removed things without it being obvious, and added things without them being obvious, and just expect the players to learn new systems and mechanics without any direction? You forced us to learn the controls when we woke up in Vault 111, but you can't pop up with a, hey, you know, if you walk up to a random unnamed settler, you can make them a route runner between your different outposts. You know, I didn't even know you could check the status of your outposts from your Pip-Boy until after I shot Father in the face. Why is that? You didn't bring enough attention to your new systems in-game for them to be used with any type of skill or tact. And lastly, the radio. The radio is used as a tool to locate things like emergency beacons and signals. I found myself turning it off because of the same 4 to 6 songs on the Diamond City radio and the same 2 songs on Freedom Radio. I don't know if it was a licensing issue or what, but with the budget you guys have, you can afford to pay a badass like Harry Gregson Williams, Danny Elfman, or Bear McCreary to make a dozen 2 to 4 minute songs to put on the radio. Or go to a record label that has 70s music in stock and say, I need 100 tracks, and pay them. The ambient music was more enjoyable to listen to. Now, sound design was sick nasty, and I love being scared by the ghouls who just pop out of nowhere, and that the synths will shake and quiver before bolting at you at top speed. The game is good, don't get me wrong, but it isn't Game of the Year material. It isn't because it's stupid or simple, it's because it feels shallow shallow. I'm not a sheep who cares about Metacritic scores because numbers mean nothing, but opinions, raw and detailed fact, that works for me. There is a well-written story hidden under all of the short-sighted stuff you guys pulled. There is an amazing game that just needed a little more polish. This game was disappointing. Sure, you updated the gameplay, and that is an improvement I appreciate. Anybody who played Fallout 3 or New Vegas can tell you that the non-VATS gunplay was weak at its best. Sure, the mouth flapping during dialogue was off, but for the most part it worked. We didn't love Fallout 3 or New Vegas because it was more of the same, but they were different and innovative enough to be cherished, even with all of the bugs and shortcomings. Skyrim was legendary, and I mean legendary. You guys went through the process of creating the syntax for a brand new language. How many other devs can say they created a new language? Square, with Albed, maybe. And I hope I'm saying that right, so I don't get anthrax in the mail from Final Fantasy fanboys. Let me cement that. Final Fantasy VII is by no means the best in the series. Suck it. What we got felt rushed. We didn't need or want a crafting system. When we heard the outcry against it during pre-release, you should have delayed the title and removed it. Replace it with something else. You didn't, and we got a half-complete base building sim that is easy enough to navigate through, but did any of your people try using it? How much of a pain in the ass is it to not have a free cam to place things? Modders are going to take care of it, and if that's what you guys are banking on, then you need to get new game dev tools to the modders and let them make the next game, instead of relying on them to fix what you wouldn't or couldn't. After Skyrim, we were expecting some sort of mount or vehicle. Fallout 3, we were expecting to keep our karma. After Fallout 3. The skill and perk system was spot on. Most of us love the new system and feel, like you, that it streamlines everything. In closing, Minecraft was popular for reasons you didn't understand, and putting it in Fallout 4 was simply short-sighted. If you want to know what you should do with a game that you've already released, go look at the fan forums in the modding community. If you want to know what your next game should have standard, go look at the mods people put in one of your previous titles. Make it better and put it in your next game. The modding community has more love for your title than you do, and you allowing mod support on consoles just shows how much you're leaning on them to fix everything you've done wrong. Thank you for your time. My name is Jack. To all of the viewers, if you agree or not, leave a comment below. Make sure you share this letter with your friends and use it to piss off your enemies. Hit the like button if you have a giant penis. Hit the share button if you wish you had a giant penis. Poke that sub button for more gameplay, news, reviews, and updates.